Hello, I am Kimmy the Sparks, and I'm an on-site global electrician. Mic drop.
Bosh. Awesome. Thanks for sharing your time with me this morning. I really, really appreciate it. I know there's a bit of a time difference at the moment. Where is it that you said you are at the moment?
So I am in Lithuania, Northern Europe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We'll dig into that a bit more in a bit. I would like to just start by asking you where your journey started. Tell us a bit about your background.
I'll start a little bit from the beginning because that will tie into why I'm here now again. So there you go. So I grew up in Lithuania up until the age of 8, and then my mum relocated us to the UK for a better life, which I do think I had. And then I lived there for more than 20 years now, since 2005 in the UK. And I became an electrician about, I think, 11 years ago. I first signed the official papers with the college. I did the colorblind test and I passed. And they're like, you can become a spark. And I was like, yes. So December 2011, no, 2000 and, yeah, 14, I signed the papers. And since then, I've been on a amazing journey to becoming the best electrician that I can be. And to me, it's more than a job. It's more than a paycheck. It's like a full-on passion. So
Love that.
yeah, and since then it's just been a journey of trying out domestic, commercial, trying out everything under the sun that you can do as a spark to see what is for me. And so far, I haven't found the thing that's for me, except for realizing that actually, I think my thing is to try everything.
Okay. Yeah, why not? That's it. I mean, if you don't try everything, there's going to be something missing, isn't there? You've got to keep searching for that passion in the thing that you do day in, day out. And yeah, if you've not found it yet, keep looking for it for sure. Where did your electrical journey start? What did you start doing? What was your focus?
Yeah, so I took a gap year before I went to uni to do my psychology degree, and I ended up getting a little job doing a bit of admin in a company electrical firm that done work for the council. And I was so good at what I did, they promoted me to like voids manager within a few months, doing the account, doing everything. And I used to do all the reports every morning for the call outs and everything else, and send off the snag list, just do all of that kind of back end stuff. And then slowly, I was like, wow, they make a lot of money compared to me earning my little, 1,000 something pounds a month doing the same amount of hours. And I thought, their job looks so cool because I'd get to see all the pictures of before and after. And I'm like, so wait, you spent 45 minutes and there was nothing there. And now there's sockets. I'm like, this is amazing. And it kind of sparked a little idea. I was like, oh, I'd love to become an electrician. And yeah, my boss said, mate, don't be silly. My manager said,
What?
don't be silly. Everyone said, don't be silly, you're a girl. Sis, stop it. And then I thought, actually, wait. And that, because I'm a stubborn, I'm sort of, star sign wise, I'm an Aries / Taurus. If you tell me I can't and I shouldn't and it's not for me, you know what? I'm gonna go and do it just because. Yeah, so then I went and spoke to one of the other guys. He told me who I can go train with, and I called loads of people, and then yeah, just ended up paying for the course. And I had to continue my life sort of paying for the course, training, and then at the young age of 18 was like, oh, you know what? I'm ready to start a family. So I ended up having a baby at the age of 19 while I was studying. So I had to kind of
Wow.
juggle getting apprentice money with the mother life, with work, with everything else. And what I ended up doing with my electrician career from the beginning while I was still training was basically starting up my own subcontracting thing where I would get the jobs from the clients, and then I would get one of the electrician friends to go and do the job and then bring me as an apprentice. So then my pay would be the profit from the job.
Fair play.
Some of the days I did make more than the actual electricians, but they were happy because they got a good deal. And then I was happy because my bills were getting paid and I was getting paid well than an apprentice. But yeah, that was just the sort of idea I had. And I know a lot of people don't, think of that in a way where, they're struggling to get experience these days and they're like, oh, no one will take me on. that is one option that you can possibly do. Obviously, if you are down like the apprenticeship route, I think there are like terms and conditions on what kind of job you have to have. But if you're just doing like a college course, it's a lot more flexible. So you can kind of get experience that way and yeah, sort of thinking outside the box. And yeah, that's what I did to begin my career, which was I kind of in one way do regret that in a little sort of way because I got to pick and choose the jobs I wanted to do. Obviously, I picked all the nice fun jobs. Anything that needed a long ladder, I'm like, "Nah, I'm not," "We're fully booked, we're not taking that job on." So, there was a lot of things that I didn't do in the beginning that I feel like I could have done to make me a better spark in the beginning, but then obviously eventually when I realized that, I ended up sort of going back to being an apprentice in a way and then doing all the rough things that I didn't get to do, such as, pulling up all the ladders and going up all the tall
Yeah.
all the grubby bits that I didn't get to do. So I kind of done it in like a different sort of order, but it worked for me. And that was, yeah, the beginning of my journey. So a lot of social housing that made me the kind of spark that I was, which was, yeah, just sort of emergency call outs, nighttime work, communal lighting, pulling mains, laterals, and all these kind of things, and working with a lot of tenants, who are vulnerable, had sometimes like disabilities and whatever else, and sort of having to accommodate them while being a spark. And sometimes half my job was being a psychologist, which is what I wanted to be originally. So I had one job where it must have been a 1 hour job, literally change 3 light fittings, like for like, sort of in terms of the fitting. So a bulkhead for another bulkhead. And that job took me 1 day, full day,
Wow.
because the tenant, she had 2 carers, but obviously they couldn't fully control her, and then they weren't able to take her out of the house for some reason. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, she would like kind of like run into the room and like, shake my ladder and run off, or like take my
Oh,
tools and
wow.
them. And that kind of, slowed down the job a lot. And it took me like one full day to do that. So a lot of my career, a lot of the years was spent doing that. But that was financially, it's probably one of the worst things you can do as a spark, which is working for the council. Um,
Okay.
they don't pay a lot. The work is just same sort of thing day in and out, cheap materials, cheap everything, you're like back to back with jobs. But the reward that you get, knowing that you're helping people that most people don't really care about, that push them to the side, mold everywhere, and they're like, oh, you know what, whatever, we don't want to do that job. Whereas me, I kind of like had that reward of, yeah, I'm helping people out and the money will come eventually. And yeah, I spent a lot of my career kind of doing that. But then again, that made me sort of behind a little bit in terms of being the best spark that I can be, because people are doing like LED light fittings and all these, new
Ah,
innovative things and
yeah.
council stuff. That's not something you'd ever really touch. Any, LED strips and nice decorative light fittings and chandeliers and whatever else. So yeah, and then eventually I kind of progressed to doing those kind of things now. And then now I'm starting to learn smart home systems. And
Wow.
yes, it's been like a long 10, 11 years of just becoming the best spark that I can be.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really brought in your psychology
Mm.
aspect. I do believe that half the job almost being self-employed in a trade is working with that person in the property and making them feel at ease, and also managing the time efficiently so that you can get the job done. And I mean, I bet, as you say, I bet it was really rewarding leaving vulnerable people like you say, unfortunately, that aren't really cared for in society as much as they should be, as everybody should be. Leaving them with a home that fixtures that would work. I mean, at least like the bare basics.
I've had that loads of times. I've been like, "Thank you. I've had this light has not worked for 3 years."
That's shocking.
I'm the first one that kind of went in. I was like, "Look, mate, I'll get sorted. I'll get onto the counts. I'll be like, look, I'm getting this done. I'm ordering it. I'm gonna go pick it up. Reschedule like the other jobs that are just sort of just come up and whatever else. And yeah, we're getting this done. And yeah, the satisfaction of people saying thank you. It's been years. I've lived without a light in my bathroom for years. Um, or without a socket, or half my sockets have not worked for well over 2 years. And these kind of things. And yeah, even now it's kind of like that sort of reminiscing nostalgia sort of flashback where a lot of a big part of me would love to go back to doing that kind of work. But then that's when, again, the sort of prioritization of finances and more money and whatever else comes in, where I'm like, look, I am a mum, and there's things I need to purchase for my kid and whatever else in my future. So as much as I'd love to do that work, it just it doesn't align in that way.
Yeah, it's prioritizing your progression, isn't it? As
Mm.
well as finding that reward in the work. Because, like you say, you always want to strive to be the best tradeswoman that you can be. And if that isn't necessarily in that section, then you've got to pursue life for yourself, haven't
Mm.
you? You've got to be happy with the work that you're producing, you're doing each day. If there was a bit of advice you could give to someone looking to get into electrics, what do you think? What would that be?
I think, sort of maybe just letting people know to think long term as well as short term. Just because some people come in for, financial reasons, because, as a tradesperson, you can make a lot of money. Other people come in because their dad did it or whatever else, and they come in for that to kind of carry on a legacy. And there's so many different reasons why somebody might do it. So I'd recommend sort of seeing where you want to be, where you want to go, and what kind of electrician, you see yourself being in not just a year's time, on, 3 years' time when you qualified, like 5, 10, 20 years' time. Do you still plan to do it? If not, then maybe go into something that will get you the most money that you can do, and then go off and do what your actual passion is. Or if you do see yourself being an electrician for the longest time, then, see what you can start doing to build where you want to be. Because sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, what would you recommend? And I'm like, oh my God, I can't just answer that question, because I need to know. Do you plan to be into commercial, domestic? Do you want to do like events? Do you want to interact with people, or do you not want to interact with people? Because then, you can work on a building site, or you can be working in people's homes. And there's so many things that people don't consider,
Yeah,
but there's so many different variations of an electrician. And starting off, alignment with where you want to be and what kind of electrician you want to be, whether it's industrial, commercial, domestic, or like I said, events or whatever else, to set yourself on the right trajectory, you have to start off kind of, on the right path. So that is my biggest advice. Sort of see the long term and then align which way you want to go, so that eventually, you can build up your skills. Yeah, that way.
along the journey. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really valuable to ask these questions because you typically think from a young age, you do the whole school regime, and in my mind, the apprentice route seems to be the typical way for youngsters to get into the trades currently. And to kind of understand from someone that's already progressed in their sector and looked at things way ahead and figured out, maybe not figured out completely, but figured out a current path to where their end goal might be, is really valuable. I think we've really got to understand the paths that people can take and share them, because even not necessarily youngsters, I mean, how many of us nowadays are choosing to change path from a typical job and go into a trade? Any aged person can do it, can't they? So yeah,
Mm.
it's really valuable information. I just want to go back to your mention of your psychology course. That is very interesting to me. Tell me a bit more about that. Where did you study that?
So, at college, I did sociology, philosophy, psychology, and law, planning to kind of, become a psychiatrist, or, I had grand plans of writing research books and all these amazing things, and kind of be like a TED Talk speaker about psychology and whatever else. And yeah, I applied to Birmingham University, and I was supposed to be on my way there, and then the gap year. And yeah, and then what I realized, actually, it's good that I didn't do it as a paid job, because it might have taken away the joy that I had and the passion I had for it. Whereas, having to, work to do psychology, which I enjoyed, to pay my bills. I don't know. Obviously, in terms of lecturers, I've kind of set that up in a different way. But anyways, sorry, let me not ramble on. Go back to that question. Yeah, the psychology thing. Since then, I've done a lot of things in to do with psychology, philosophy. I'm even writing a book at the moment in terms of that, but it's
Ooh,
just more like a passion and a side hustle thing. And I've done like some workshops, and I plan more workshops in the future. So yeah, there's still more plans to do all of that, but it's just yeah, like a side thing. I don't think I'll be going to uni for psychology. I've realized that there's a lot of things that you can do as like a philosopher where you don't
okay.
really need the psychology degree with it, especially this day of social media. I don't need the title that says I went to uni to be something these days. With the power of social media, you don't you can kind of take any route, and next thing you know, you are reaching a huge audience
Yeah,
without all of that. So yeah.
awesome. I've noticed that the way you through obviously, I've been checking your social media and following you for a while, as you do. Um, I've noticed the odd post, but also your recent path
Oh,
has almost changed a little bit in the way that it feels like you've done a lot of self-reflecting.
yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that am I right?
yeah, you know what? It's been a really, really interesting one. So I kind of talked about it on the last podcast I went on, but it was just very briefly because it was one of those quarter life crisis type of things. Not something that you initiate yourself. It's just sometimes life just comes and like that's
Yep.
and you've just got to deal with it. And so 2023 summertime, I literally went through a month, August, where my whole life collapsed as I knew it. So my home basically was homeless, and my mum had to cut contact with her. My two brothers cut contact with them. My son's dad cut contact with him. I was supposed to get married. That was all cut off. And then it was literally like every single aspect of like the foundation of your life was just gone in a matter of a month. And it was just such a coincidence that kind of pushed me to be like, look, prioritize yourself. And then I realized that those were toxic environments. And, it's so weird because I've spent my whole life researching, what a narcissist is and what autism and ADHD is, and what these psychological things mean. But when it was happening to me, I just didn't notice it. And yeah, after I got rid of all these people that were literally my whole life, moving home, everything else, I realized that actually I'm at so much peace now. I don't have somebody putting me down every day, and it was quite hard cutting your family members off and everything else at once. But I got through it, and the next however many, what is it, 2 years now it's been, has just been recreating my life, grieving, sort of losing a family member who is still alive. Family members like my brothers and my mum, no contact for 2 years. Son's dad, no contact for 2 years. Everybody else just sort of disappeared at once, and going through all of that while still maintaining my work, being the main provider for my kid and everything else, and moving home, everything just at the same time. And that really does make you find yourself because you realize how strong you are. And slowly, just kind of, yeah, just pushed me to realign everything to prioritize myself and my future. Um, yeah. And sort of taking on like global projects, seeing what else is out there, traveling more with my son, doing jobs where I could kind of like blend it with, being with him. So in the summer, I took him with me, went for a 2 month sort of trip around Europe. And yeah, and it's just been, yeah, like an interesting journey. And then I had the knee injury, and everything was just like back to back to back blows. And there was one point where I literally sat there, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm out. Bye. And but obviously it weren't like that. I was like crying. I was like,
Yeah.
and my friends were like, "No, look, you can do it." And behind the scenes, this has happened behind the scenes, but obviously the front of it is me pushing, not giving up. So everyone's just seeing my content. They're like, "Wow, Kimmy, you're doing amazing!" And I'm like, "You don't even know. I've literally just been sleeping on my friend's sofa for like a month or two, and then this and that, and like I've got like." My whole life collapsed. And then after that little episode of me not wanting to be here because everything was just too difficult with the knee injury, everything else, literally 2 weeks later, I was on stage collecting Electrician of the Year award, and everyone was like, "Wow, Kimmy, you're smashing." I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys don't even know what I'm dealing with on a daily basis." But again, this is what made me shine, because I rediscovered how strong I am to go through everything. And there's a whole big story of like the smaller details behind all of that. I shared it with a few people, and they're like, "What?" yeah. So yeah, and then this is where now I'm kind of like relocating part time to Lithuania, which is like where I'm from. I've got my friend out here, and because I've had to take myself away from all the drama that I had in London with all of that was happening, so that I'm not sort of like looking over my shoulder, like, is that them? Is that them? Are they gonna, attack me? Is there gonna be some kind of like hostility? So yeah, I'm kind of like out here part time. I've taken on some new rewires up in Lithuania, and I'm kind of like back and forth. I'm driving back and forth or flying back and forth with all my tools and working in between, and just create like this whole new setup that I've never wanted. But then I realized how much I actually enjoy it. So yeah,
Nice. Wow. Wow.
yeah,
It's so strange you say about, the period you had from 2023, because I can kind of relate. I had a similar part of my life at the same time as you pretty much, where
it must have been the planets.
it must have been. Do you know, there was something going on with the energies. The universe was saying, things have got to come down for you to rebuild, you
Mm.
know? And I can't relate to you on your circumstances, because everybody is different,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's life is different, but rebuilding your strength and trying to build a new path forward, it takes some energy, doesn't it?
It does.
To carry on, because you can get to the point where you just, what is the point?
Yeah.
What's the point of everything? I've got nothing.
You're dealing with processing what happened, and you're also dealing with building the future while also maintaining what you're already doing. So you're literally juggling everything at once, and it can get overwhelming. And obviously the whole, sort of dark side of being a tradesperson with, how many suicides and things like that are happening. It's just like I see why it's so easy just to give up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah, and we've got this amazing WhatsApp group, called the ESK Elite Sparky Crew, and they've actually got like this group called Welfare Check. And every now and again, I open up and I'm like, wow, it's actually really nice to see how people just help each other, but then also how many people actually are going through things. And when you look at their like Instagram profiles, it looks like sunshine and rainbows, and behind the scenes, they're kind of like, yeah, just trying to do their best. It's like a whole thing, but, it's one of those things where it's really hard to get anybody else out of that place. It's one of those things that I personally believe is a personal journey. It's good to have support, but sometimes you can have everybody supporting you, and you might not, be able to appreciate it or utilize it or accept it.
I think part of it is knowing you've got someone there that will listen,
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily have to have them there for their advice, because you don't always want their advice, do you? Sometimes you just want to vent, or you literally just want to sit in the company of somebody else and just watch the telly, or
I would say, like, when I was going I was like, "I don't even wanna talk about what's happened anymore because 'cause I've spoken about it enough. I just wanna talk about, like, I don't know, can we just talk about, like, the different types of clouds and different types of, like, trees or something? Just anything that's just, like, totally different, and just having people like, "I'm there for you," and then, just chatting to them about football. I don't even care about football, but I'm like, "Yeah, let's just tell me more about football," and just, getting your mind off things that way, it really helps. So, yeah.
absolutely. It clears the mind, doesn't it? And allows
Mm.
new energy and new thoughts to come in, and it just helps to move you forward, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's one of those life initiations, you go through it and then you level up and you become like the real adult.
That's it. That's it. It's all about progression. It's all about reaching that end goal, innit? And just growing in the process. You mentioned you've got a little boy. Is he little, or is he a little man, or
He's gonna be 10 in December. So he's amazing, yeah.
is he there with you in Lithuania?
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's here with me. Honestly, he's my biggest fan. Like when we're driving around, he'll put the windows down. He's like, "Subscribe to Kimmy the Sparks. She's the best electrician in the universe." And oh,
Oh, what a
he's
guy.
amazing little thing. He's so funny. Yeah, sometimes I'll take him on jobs with me since he was little. Really, just help do whatever else. And yeah, he loves it.
Awesome. That's awesome. And do you think you'll be in Lithuania for the foreseeable? What have you got a plan of action?
Yeah, so I've been like back and forth, because flights like in spring, winter, and autumn are so cheap. It's literally like 50 quid return,
Wow.
which for some reason is a lot less than a train ticket in the UK. I don't know why. It's cheaper to fly in and out the country than it is to get around the country, but won't get into that.
Nope.
50 quid return. So sometimes, if I've got a job there, got a job there, just jump on a flight, go there, and I've got a set of tools here, set of tools out there. And then yeah, I've kind of like kept all my clients, because most of my clients I've kept are ones that I've had for so many years, and they kind of like understand my circumstances, and they love how I do my work so much that they're like, okay, let us know when you're back. Or, I'll let them know, like, okay, let's plan that I'll be, back for mid-October, and then they'll just hold off all their jobs for me mid-October, and then I come in and I smash it all out, and then then I come back and forth. And that's sort of like the setup right now, where it's yeah,
Nice.
it works. It's
It keeps it exciting, doesn't it? Bit
yeah.
different, It's not the same old, same old. I like that. I've said this before to people. It You're so lucky when you find customers that understand you and want to work with you instead of looking for the difficulties in the process. It makes things so much easier.
Yeah, I've got a full banned client list on my phone. I put like a little cross emoji. So it's like as soon as I see somebody calling with that emoji, I'm like, nope, not even
Mm.
running to the phone. I remember I had one guy, he called me about, I think it was like 2 a.m. on like a Tuesday or something like that. So obviously I thought, okay, it's an emergency, and I'm used to answering the phone, and I was like, hello, and he's like, oh, you're right. And I'm like waiting for him to tell me what the emergency is, and he's like, so when would you be free to put up a TV bracket?
Me.
I was like, brother, listen. I said to him, I'm gonna ban you. Never call me again, and tell your brother to never call me again. That is so rude, like so inconsiderate." And yeah, I banned him and his brother, who actually they were on the last sort of last fight or sort of thing already, and that was it. I was like, look, three strikes, you're out. So yeah, kind of like sifting out people like that don't respect, to leave in the clientele who just yeah absolutely love what you do. So the client I've got now, he when I said I'm winning electrician of the year, he's like, okay, we will come. Like, let us know how much the tickets are, and we'll all just come there to support you. I was like, what? What, you really? So I'm just like, wow. So yeah, you get really lucky, and I think the most important thing is to be like your authentic self, because in that way, your clients who see you for who you really are kind of like, gravitate towards you, you gravitate towards them. And but again, this doesn't work for everyone. This is why I say like long-term vision. What do you see yourself doing? Because some people just see it as a transactional thing. Like, this is the job, this is the money, thank you very much, on your way. Whereas me, I kind of see it as like a long-term partnership. We're kind of like friends, but through work. Um, and yeah, this is why important to see what you want, and then kind of align yourself and your clients to the vision that you have or what you prefer.
So, social media we've obviously brought that into the fold in this discussion. How how demanding is it on your life and your progression going forward?
So for me, social media, when I first started out, it was just, I'm kind of like that generation where you just post things online because that's just what we do. I don't even know why. I think it's the ego thing. I don't know. So it just started off like that. I've always had a personal Instagram. Um, and then obviously before that, we had the MySpace and the Facebooks and whatever else.
Yep.
So I opened up Instagram as a personal thing, had that. And then when I became an electrician, I was like, it only makes sense to just post for whatever reason. And yeah, I used to post like anonymously because I didn't want people to know I'm a girl, because I was a bit like, oh, will they judge me? So I was called Professional Electrician because my favorite magazine was Professional Electrician, and they didn't even have Instagram yet.
Oh, you swiped it.
Yes, okay, that's my name. pro electrician. And then, yeah, I just used to post stuff, never used to put like my hands in it or whatever else. And then, yeah, eventually I must have sent a voice note to somebody and I slipped up and I was like, wait, are you a girl? Sam said like, yeah, you know what? Why don't you just show that you're a girl? You're going to inspire people. I was like, inspire? I thought like people would laugh at me. He's like, no, 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 trust me, do it. He's like, you know what? Call yourself Kimmy the Sparks. And I was like, all right, mate, I'll do it. So literally that same night, changed the name, posted up a picture saying, hey guys, I'm Kimmy the Sparks. And then it just blew up. And people were like, wow,
Nice.
well done, social housing. Like, we've not seen this. This is so cool. And this was quite a few years ago. I don't know, maybe like 20, like way before COVID times, like maybe 6, 7 years now. And yeah, since then I've just been kind of like building. But it was just more like making it for the sake of it. And it's only in the last like year or two that's when like brands started approaching. And slowly it was just like huge brands with quite huge sums of money as well. And you're like, wait, you're gonna pay me to do what I'm gonna do anyways? And then like I've worked with Esso, Santander. Oh, do you know what I mean? I'm like, wow. And then it kind of became like side hustle in a way. And obviously that has its pros and cons. So, you know, when you do get the brand deals, you do sign terms and conditions to say you won't talk about religion and politics, which is basically I love talking about religion. And I'm like, okay, you know, we won't talk about it. And then I made like a close friends group or whatever else to compensate for that, you know. Just
Nice. Find a way around that. Yep.
so then social media became like a side hustle. And then I kind of got drawn into like, oh, gotta be politically correct, this and that. And then my content wasn't really me anymore. So then I was
Yeah.
like, wait, like I'm not even enjoying this anymore. It's become a chore, it's become a job. So then I scrapped all of that. I disappeared for like, I don't know, like half a year or something like that, just barely posting anything. And then I came back with a, you know what? I'm just gonna post whatever I want to post. So this is why my content doesn't have like a, I don't know, like a style. Because I'm like, whatever I feel like, whatever I've got time for, I'll just create because I actually enjoy making content, creating content. And then yeah, now it's just sort of become a thing where I use it mostly to connect with other people. I feel like in terms of brands, like I've worked with so many now that it's just kind of like the novelty's like worn off in a way.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
when I've got like the 10th lighting company reach out to me, I'm like, you know, the first one's like, yay, lighting company. And then it's like, oh, a socket thing. And where it's like, another lighting company. Mm. But I'm like, So yeah, I've got to that point now where social media for me now is just used to connect with people and share my story. And obviously the long-term vision is kind of like public speaker vibes. I've already done
Nice.
quite a few public speaking things without realizing actually. So like a, you know, installer show and things like that with a mic talking about my journey. So yeah, I kind of plan to use my social media now for the future to just, yeah, outreach to more like-minded people and just kind of talk about my journey and inspire people and then eventually, you know, give back to like the younger generations that's trying to come in or you know, people that want to retrain and come into the industry and then obviously taking it global. So I've already started doing it out here in Lithuania and I plan to do it across other countries in Europe, but that's all in talks. Loads of little meetings.
Ooh.
Actually last week I had a few meetings, big thing. So it's
Yeah.
really, yeah, I'm utilizing the power of social media now for building more like my personal brand to help give back. I feel like after all of that, you know, life collapsing, I'm in a position now where actually I've rebuilt a nice peaceful life now. Can continue building that. And I'm in a position where I can actually give back now because I'm not just running on fumes anymore.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. Finally reaching that TED Talk phase. Yeah.
it's soon.
Getting there. Getting there.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
The thing is, I always think like, oh no, that sounds ridiculous. But then I'm like, wait, no, dream big because ridiculous things happen. Like again, Santander, like who's gonna think you're gonna be an electrician and get a brand deal with like a bank?
Yeah.
It sounds like insane, but it happens. There you go. I'm like, you know what? TED Talks.
Bring it on. This is it. I mean, all the like Santander is a if you break it down, it's a bank. All of us have a bank. Well, 99% of us have a bank. So why not?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
With that, obviously, you do have like the whole debate where it's like, oh, you know, you just like, you know, selling yourself out or whatever else. Da, 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 da. But it's like they don't see behind the scenes. Do you know how many brands I end up rejecting? Big brands as well. But I'm like, no, it doesn't align. Where I've had people,
Mm.
saying like, "Oh, we'll send you this and that," and I'm like, "I don't wanna sell this app because I don't use apps." So you don't see me selling like, all them, job service apps or
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
they're offering huge money, but I'm like, "I'm sorry, but I don't use it. I'm not gonna use it, and I've built my community. I'm not gonna sell them stuff that I'm not gonna personally use."
Yes.
So I've kind of, they don't see that, and they're like, "Oh, doing all these brand deals, da da da." But yeah, there's a sort of integrity of only sort of partnering with brands that I like or find interesting or find it cool. But yeah, I'm the kind of person that I still use Excel spreadsheets to do my invoices. I use
Me
Excel
too.
spreadsheet for everything. Like, and
Microsoft all the way.
yeah, literally, and that's it really. Apart from that, I'm like all them apps. I'm not as much as I love tech. I'm into tech. I'm not a techie person. Like my brain just can't comprehend change. So
Fair play. Gotta keep it simple. It's gotta work for you, hasn't it?
yeah,
So each to their own and all that. We've obviously established you're in Lithuania, and what have you got any big projects coming up over there? Anything exciting, or are you gonna venture over to another country at any point on the horizon to
yeah.
expand things?
So at the moment, I'm doing uh I keep saying rewire, but it's not a rewire. It's a new install, new build. But just by default, because I've done so many rewires, it's a rewire to me. So yeah, I'm doing a full install, brand new, and it's so different. So it's gonna have two 200-way Hager boards. So that's like a 400-way board. Do you even in a house in a
What?
bedroom house? No, what 4-bedroom house? It's crazy, but it's all like smart home, and the way they do it, it's like I've never seen it before, and I've not really done much smart homes to compare it to, but it's like every cable goes back to the board and then gets connected into like smart modules. Like every room's got 3, 4 different groups of lights, so you've got the wall lights on a different sort of switch. You've got the dimmer lights, and then you've got like the walkway lights. Everything's smart home. Everything's connected to, after 9 o'clock, these lights will come on a sensor. Da, 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 da. And all of that is new to me. So I'm working with somebody. I found a really cool person. Literally, this was about 2 weeks ago when I came back from summer, and then they said, "Okay, what I'll do is I'll put you on that project. You do your thing. Anytime you have a question, call me, and I'll just come down and explain it." And I'm like, "This is a perfect learning opportunity." So the first 2 days, I was like, "Okay." I've literally just, like, completed, like, 2 sockets because having to learn how to do everything differently, like, we've got the square sort of, rectangular back boxes in the UK. Out here, they're circular. How do you cut circular back and align them? I'm like, "What?" And I'm learning everything, just figuring it out on this job where it's just kind of like, do what you want. Um, and yeah, it's just been sort of really interesting. And obviously after this, they're already so excited because they've never seen a woman. I'm the first woman doing a tradeswoman's job in Lithuania that anyone's ever seen, like on the internet or whatever
Wow.
else. And in real life, I'm like the only electrician that anyone's known. It's insane. So word spread around. So I've already got so many projects lined up, and I've just got to pick and choose.
Wow.
Everyone's excited that a woman can apparently like comprehend it. It's actually quite crazy. I've already been like on national TV, I think 2, 3 times out here. I've been on a magazine already twice. I've already got like a few brand deals out here because people are like, "A woman, you can do man things." And that was quite eye opening as well to see like how much we've progressed in the UK. And I will give myself a little shoulder smack. I did contribute to a lot of progression for women in the UK. I think, it's being one of the pioneers. Um, Seeing all that progression out there and then traveling the rest of Europe and seeing like, actually, there's not much progress anywhere else. So kind of like, taking it upon myself to, you know what, let's spread it around. And I do plan to maybe go back to Morocco to do more smart home stuff in maybe January. I do have a few more offers to go to a few more countries, but it's just kind of like finding the time for
Yeah.
everything, which
Yeah.
is difficult. There's we all have 24 hours in a day, and we've got to do the best we can with it. And right now, at my limit, I've got to choose: do I wash the dishes, do the laundry, or edit content? And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm the same, honestly.
Do I sleep or edit content?
I know. I was like that last night, honestly. I don't think I got to bed until, yeah, about 1 o'clock. And then
Yeah.
even then, when I got into bed, I was thinking, "Oh, no, I've not sent Kimmy the link for tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, gosh."
Yeah, I had to choose to see a friend instead of editing content. And I was like, "Oh, I haven't seen her for ages," but I'm like, literally, I wish I had more time in the day, and then, yeah, that way I could do so many more things. But yeah, that's sort of the plan now. Out here, got a few projects, got a few more lined up, more of my things in the UK that I'm juggling, sort of 50-50, and then a few invitations to other countries that I'm considering, but depending on, yeah, the time setup. But yeah,
Wow. Exciting
crazy.
times ahead. Mental. I love it. So exciting. Okay, so we've come to the part where I like to play a little bit of a this or that quickfire question round.
Okay.
So I'm just going to give you some this or that type things. Feel free to elaborate on your answer and we'll, yeah, just see if we have a bit of a laugh. So, tea or coffee?
Tea.
Hilti or JCB?
Guilty. Oh, wait. You're an OG fan.
Yeah, gotcha.
Oh, funny. Funny actually. I was at Alex in Coventry and I walked past the JCB stand and like just reminiscing like wow. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. Team healthy.
Fair play, fair play. A new tattoo or a new tool?
Ooh, I would love a new tattoo, but I'm not doing all that new tattoos anytime soon. So it's gonna be a new tool.
Fair play. Chasing out or conduit?
Chasing out.
Gotta keep it tidy at the end of the day. A driver or passenger?
Driver.
Fitting switches or sockets?
Sockets. There's something about lighting circuits that just sometimes I'm like, I really need to focus. Do you know what I mean? Especially when there's just a lot happening. I'm like, focus. Sockets, easy.
Okay, okay. Interesting. This is a bit of a wide one. Disco fancy dress or Halloween fancy dress?
Disco fancy dress.
I know you like a bit of fancy dress.
I don't know fancy dress. Very disco. I love it.
Oosh, love it. Okay, so last couple of questions, and I will let you carry on with your day. If you could be any other trade, what would it be and why?
Good one. I think I would be a plumber. So originally when I first started considering electrics, I did actually go on site and do element changes. And that's sort of like a 50-50 thing, plumbing and electrics. And then from there, I had to pick and choose, obviously, what I was going to actually sign up for. So doing a bit of plumbing, I was like, yeah, great. But obviously, there is the sort of mucky bit of it, which I'm not too much of a fan of. But what I like is I think plumbers are the most fun kind of tradespeople. If you go
Yeah?
out with plumbers, you're guaranteed a good time. The night I ended up in a wheelchair, I was out with the plumbers.
No! Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I would be a plumber as a secondary trade if I could choose another trade.
I noticed that plumbing and electrical, they kind of overlap a little bit sometimes,
Yeah, I don't
don't
understand the
they?
heating controls, electric
Yeah.
showers, like these kind of things. It's like a yeah,
Electric showers blow my mind. Like, that's water and electrics in the same place. Like,
but that's okay. You just don't get stuck anywhere near.
oh, brilliant. So, plumbing. Okay, sweet. Who do you think I should have on the show next? Or what trade?
Ooh, what trade? Well, there is one person I'd love to see on here. Electrician,
Okay.
lighting engineer, Abigail. Abby, Sparky Woman is her Instagram, and she's got like a little blue picture of her doing the disco lights. So I've worked with her. She's oh my god, we even ended up going to Amsterdam for her birthday this summer during our little trip, and she's so amazing. I've got to work with her. She does amazing projects. She's done things like I don't know, like the O2, Chelsea football lights, you know, the Chelsea Football Club. She does like the lighting engineering. She connects all the light fitting. She like does all the rigs for. Oh my god, she is amazing. And she's done like you know Battersea Power Station.
Yeah.
She's done like the lights for that. Everything is her. So I would love to see her come on here and talk about her journey. And her journey is, she's so inspiring. She's like, yeah, I love her. She's like probably like my favorite female electrician. And I
Okay.
don't think she's really been out like that much in any podcast or anything else. I think it'll be like a unique thing to see her come on and her journey and her skills. So good, so creative. So yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So, Kim, where can people find you on social media and everything? What's your handles?
My main hub, if you want to DM, is Instagram, Kimmy, Kimmy, Kimmy the Sparks. And I'm on TikTok as well, but I just don't really check the DMs there. But you can find my content there. And then YouTube. I've got LinkedIn as well, if you want to connect on LinkedIn, but that's my government name, which is Camilla Matioskaite. Don't know if you, the spelling for that, you might have to DM me on Instagram to get. And I think that's it. Yeah, no, that's all I have. I'm not on Facebook or anything else. So yeah,
Awesome. Love it. Okay, well, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed learning about you and getting to know you as well. I love your path that you are taking currently and exploring what other countries have to offer and sharing with the rest of the world that women can do a
yeah,
trade, a hands-on trade,
yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Power to you. So, yeah, thank you again.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's been a good one.
You're welcome, you're welcome. And, yeah, I hope we can continue speaking when you get the time.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Awesome. Right, I will let you go.
Cheers. Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Hey, don't go yet. I just want to say a quick thank you for listening to this episode. And if you want to hear more from awesome tradeswomen, don't forget to drop me a like or a follow so you don't miss out on future episodes. See you next time on Life of a Female Tradie.